Hello, greetings everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Daniel Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
And this is our 1, 2, 3, 4th show of the new year. 3, 4.
Who's counting, right?
I think we're still in January.
We're still in January.
It's so cold. That's all I know.
Feels like we're still in January. Holy
I'm
fun.
freezing my butt off.
News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele is here, as you may have noticed, for another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Might have something to do with the squirrels.
There's a teaser right there. It's a
friends in
teaser
the
right here.
trees tonight. You never know.
Someone's flying.
EBG CBB, as I mentioned, Roland, Denise talking about the Fantasticks tonight, our News for Seniors segment, and then my very own co-anchor here talking with one of our former co-anchors.
Absolutely, Michelle Katz, yeah.
Had a little chit-chat with Miss Michelle and found out what she's up to lately. So that's our show, but before we begin, social media reminder from Senior Pineda.
And also present her a challenge, but that's a teaser. I'll let go, yeah.
Okay. Lots of teasers.
Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News, Craig, on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and also on the radio.
And also on the radio, WERA 96.7 LP FM. Check us out. We're in your ear. Here we go now with the first of our news items. Rolling. Very good. On Monday, June 21st, an SUV crashed and flipped over onto its roof near Roslyn, injuring one person. The accident took place before 9:30 in the morning on Route 110. The circumstances surrounding the wreck are unclear, but the SUV rolled off to its side and then landed on top of a light pole near a construction zone where Route 110 splits off to I-66 and Wilson Boulevard in Roslyn. Fortunately, according to Arlington County Fire Department, the injuries to the person involved were not life-threatening. The northbound lanes of Route 110 were closed for an extended period of time, but they reopened shortly before 10:45 in the morning. Drivers should regard this as a cautionary incident and remember to drive safely with care, even if the roads appear to be clear. Daniel.
Certainly a difficult photo to see there. Well, hundreds of Arlingtonians braved the cold to participate in the annual day of service in honor of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Activities included bagging food at the Arlington Food Assistance Center, assisting the Arlington Addiction Recover Initiative in sharing educational information about the opioid epidemic, preparing bagged meals for the Arlington's homeless residents in cooperation with ASPAN and Marymount University, sorting and labeling books as a part of the Aspire new after-school reading program.
And also in other day of service activities included purchasing and assembling various useful items for welcome kits to be given out to families in need in connection with Bridges to Independence with that organization, removing invasive plants from Culpeper Garden, purchasing and contributing several small items totaling $25, and then bringing them to representatives from Doorways for Women and Families. Helping the Offender Aid and Restoration Group to write Valentine's Day cards to supporters, as well as a personal message of thanks, and assembling small bookshelves and boxes of children's books for distribution to needy families in connection with the Read Early and Daily project. Daniel.
And for our last news story for tonight, the Oakwood Arlington Extended Stay Apartments in Roslyn have been sold to a Singapore real estate investment company. The sales price for the 184-unit property on Clarendon Boulevard at $70 million.
All right, and let's look at our news items. CBB is coming up right after we hear from Adele with another installment of
It's Easy Being Green. Hey, Adele.
Oh, you sound so excited.
We're so
and you
pumped
should
up.
be, because we've got wonderful props and
all those little furry critters you got
squirrel
down there.
whispering today.
More budget here at the Arlington Weekly News.
Welcome back,
Squirrel
everyone.
whispering.
It's Easy Being Green, and my name's Adele Quo. And of course, we've got Joe Tree Frog here, surrounded by his squirrel friends. While Martin Luther King Day owned the headlines, Squirrel Appreciation Day also fell on January 21st. And our very own Long Branch Nature Center has emerged as a premier wildlife sanctuary for the Flying Squirrel program. The staff at Long Branch maintains roosting boxes for the flying squirrels, where they stay huddled with a group to keep warm in winter since they do not hibernate. Each evening from December through March, a naturalist puts peanut butter, nuts, and seeds on trees to attract the flying squirrels. Now is the best time to experience these impossibly cute southern flying squirrels. Their Latin name, Glaucomes volans, and you can experience them in our urban wild areas. After an indoor presentation full of interesting facts, you can tiptoe outdoors to watch these little pixies with their big eyes and teensy little mouths glide in for an evening meal. Their cuteness is right up there with seals, sea otters, owls, and Joe Tree Frog. Watch your screen or listen carefully to jot down the upcoming dates available for the special flying squirrel events on January 25th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. This is a family-friendly activity for all ages 4 and up. The ID number is 622-959-D. And on February 9th, from 6 to 7, it's going to be more of an adults-only, ages 18 and up activity, number 622-959-E. And February 22nd, from 6 to 7 p.m., another family-friendly, all ages 4 and up, with activity ID number 622-959-F. You meet at Long Branch, let's start again. Meet at Long Branch Nature Center at 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Registration is required for this popular program. You can register online or call 703-228-6535. There are only 2 species of flying squirrels found in North America, and our local southern flying squirrel is the only one that occurs here locally. It is also the smallest tree squirrel in the U.S. and the most predatory. While they live throughout the wooded neighborhoods of Arlington, and they are as common as the larger gray squirrels that we see during the day, these engaging nocturnal acrobats are somewhat elusive and seldom seen. If you see nutshells left behind with a single circular cut to remove the meats, that's a good sign that they live nearby. Joe Tree Frog finds it quite a trippy paradox that people travel abroad far and wide to find meaningful experiences, yet most do not make time to get acquainted with our local charismatic creatures. So Joe Tree Frog guarantees that this experience you are not likely to find elsewhere, not in our national parks, not in our wildernesses, not at any national wildlife refuge, but here in our very own urban wild, here at Long Branch Nature Center. So remember, it's easy being green, celebrating our local southern flying squirrels.
Yeah, we had to get that flying squirrel there.
They are cute little guys with those great big eyes, and they're not carnivores, so they eat nuts, and they
little seeds.
make little holes in the nuts.
That's right.
I'll have to look for the nuts with the little holes.
You can hold them in your hands.
They are small.
They're very tiny.
All right, so check that out. Long Branch.
Long Branch Nature Center.
Check out the flying squirrels at Long Branch. Thanks, Adele. We appreciate it. Here we go, as promised now. CBB Community Bulletin Board to file. Well, Arlington County aims to provide a safe environment where individuals and families can relax and be who they are. They strive to make their events and facilities welcoming and accessible to everyone. In honor of National Therapeutic Recreation Month, the Office of Youth and Family Programs and the Therapeutic Recreation Office invites all families to a sensory-friendly movie night. You can bring pillows, a blanket, and cozy up for a family movie night. You can watch a series of Pixar short films together as a family. You can take a break from the movie experience at the craft station, where you can create collaborative community projects. Popcorn will be available for purchase at the event for $1 a bag, nominal fee, not too bad. Cash only, however. That's coming up Friday, February 1 at 6 in the evening at Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. For more information, you had to register. Give them a call at the number on your screen now and in your ear, 703-228-4773. Daniel.
Bring that cash, right?
Cash only.
Oh, cash
$1 a
only.
bag. Can't
No
beat
more
it.
credit cards or chips, right? Well, some people like to write fiction, and they also like a sense of camaraderie, along with some dedicated writing time. Isn't there an app for that? Well, not yet, but there is an informal fiction writers group who will provide encouragement and support in a kind of communal writing environment. The next meeting, well, it takes place on Wednesday, January the 30th from 5 to 8 p.m. That's located at 2117 Crystal Plaza Arcade. Attendance is on a first-come, first-served basis. And by the way, even though this is a fiction writers group, we are not making this up. You're supposed to laugh at that, Craig.
Truth. It's
Come
all
on.
truth. The facts, just the facts. Also in
Fake
our
news.
CDB file, Ken Burns' 10-part documentary, Jazz, quote unquote, celebrates one of America's great original art forms. It opens at the dawn of the 20th century and includes aspects of American culture as well as historical events that interacted directly with the music scene from the 1890s through Harlem Renaissance and moving on into the Jazz Age, the Great Depression, the New Deal, the Second World War, and beyond. Ken Burns' film Jazz paints a compelling portrait of a nation and one of the improvisational cores of its music. This particular showing is episode number 4, entitled A True Welcome, and that's coming up Tuesday, Tuesday, February 5, 6:30 to 8:30 in the Campbell Room of Shirlington Branch Library, located at 4200 Campbell Avenue. Check it out. Daniel.
Check it out. Well, our friends at the Arlington Philharmonic will be serving up a musical menu they call Sophisticated Rarities. The concert will include the works of Jock Offenbach, Charles Gounod, Joseph Santo, and Paul Maurice. If some of these composers aren't familiar to you, this is your chance to come on down and find out more information on them. That's coming up on Sunday, February the 10th at 4 p.m. at Wakefield High School, located at 1325 South Dinwiddie Street. Fun times.
Also in our CBB file, well, I have something here, but I guess it's time for the roll-in. I don't know. Here's Denise. News for Seniors is coming up right after we hear from Denise Pringle and her thoughts on the Fantasticks.
The Little Theater of Alexandria is starting the new year with a production of the Fantasticks, with book and lyrics by Tom Jones and music by Harvey Schmidt. The Fantasticks opened in May of 1960 and is the longest-running production of any kind in the history of American theater. It is a simple love story of a boy and a girl, next-door neighbors, who are manipulated by their parents to fall in love. The parents pretend to feud because they think that the forbidden nature of a relationship is a sure bet that their children will fall in love. The musical is known for its beautiful music and lyrics. Its best-known songs are Try to Remember and Soon It's Gonna Rain. 3 musicians, a pianist, a harpist, and a percussionist, beautifully interpret the music. Director Eleanor Tapscott has made a few changes in her production of the play. The play has elements of vaudeville, Shakespeare, and commedia dell'arte. Her goal was to honor those theatrical styles, and she gets a great assist from costume designer Giuliano Cofrancesco. This production has 2 mutes in highly stylized Harlequin costumes. The parents, a father and a mother in this case, in vaudeville-inspired dress, and the players in Shakespearean garb. El Gallo is swashbuckling, and the lovers, Matt and Louisa, dressed as Victorian romantics. Only in a story that leans heavily on fantasy could these styles coexist comfortably. As the young lovers, Louisa and Matt, Rachel Hogan and Luis Mari Montes have lovely voices that deliver their songs and duets. Christopher Overley as El Gallo narrates the play with ease, but his singing voice is smooth and quiet when I longed for the gusto of a more traditional leading man's. Janice Zucker as Huckleby and Stephen B. Yednick as Bellamy are comical as the parents. But the real laughs come from Matt Liptak's Mortimer, the man who dies, frequently and comically. The Fantasticks continues through February 2nd at the Little Theater of Alexandria. See it to experience the magic of a moonlit romance that finds its real strength in the sobering sunlight of a new day. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Denise. Her thoughts.
She liked
on,
it, I think.
I think she liked
Did
it.
she? Yeah.
Fantasticks at the
Thank
little
you, Denise.
LTA, Little Theater.
We know you loved
Thanks,
it.
Denise. We appreciate it. Here we go. As promised now, news for seniors. Oh, news for seniors glasses.
Dun,
there
dun,
we go.
dun.
That's what it looks like. Bonnie O'Leary from the Northern Virginia
can
Resource
see.
Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing will explain hearing aids from the wearer's perspective. She'll explain the differences between a hearing specialist and an audiologist, as well as the different styles, types, and costs of various hearing aids, including personal amplifiers, as an alternative. The Resource Center does not sell hearing aids and serves as an information center. This program will be held on Tuesday, January 29, from 10 to 11 in the morning at Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 2909 Take 2, 16th Street South. For more information, take 2 or 3 or 4. For more information and to register, give them a call at the number on your screen and in your ear now, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
I'm not laughing or saying anything because I know I'm next. Well, explore how to tune into your body, lessen stress, and be in the moment of your life. These techniques, known as collectively as mindfulness, are thought to lead to a healthier, happier lifestyle and promote longevity and successful aging. Gwendolyn Beck, gerontologist and manager of senior health at Virginia Hospital Center, will cover being their lifestyle choices. You may be better off with beer and pizza, movement, faith, and gratitude. That all comes on Tuesday, January the 29th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's at the Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center, all located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. To register, give them a call at 703-228-7369.
All right, Daniel. And also in our News for Seniors segment, representatives from Arlington County's Department of Human Services will answer questions about services provided by the county. This is a first-come, first-served basis, so be aware of that. Persons seeking assistance applying for services such as affordable housing or citizenship. This one is for you. You should attend. That's coming up on Thursday, January 31st from 10 till 11 in the morning at Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. For more information, give them a call. Here's the number, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, here, Craig, is your chance to learn how to keep your kitchen open even when the roads are closed. Cook wholesome and healthful meals using the food you have on hand. Virginia Cooperative Extension will demonstrate a tasty recipe and offer tips for the best pantry and freezer foods to keep around this winter. It all takes place on Tuesday, January the 29th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's at the Langston Brown Community and Senior Center, located at Park 2121 North Culpeper Street. Give them a call for any more information at 703-228-6300.
All right, and here's some information for you book fans out there. Professor and veteran and a friend of ours here on the Arlington Weekly News, Dr. Charles Toftoy, will share his excerpts from his latest book, Blunders, Eye-Opening Mistakes in History and What Went Wrong. Each chapter covers an historical blunder that occurred due to the mistakes that should never have been made. Dr. Toftoy's presentation takes place Friday, February 1st at 1 in the afternoon at Walter Reed Senior Center, 2909 16th Street South. For more information and to check it out, give them a call at the number. Here it is, 703-228-0955. And as always, thanks to Judy Masabni of OSAP, Office of Senior Adult Programs, for helping us out and sending these stories to us. Thanks, Judy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Judy.
We'll be back for sign-off and bye-bye right after my venerable co-anchor over here sits down and has a real nice chat with Michelle Katz. And here's what they talked about.
Good evening, everyone. My guest today is extremely familiar to everyone here, Michelle Katz. And of course, our mascot here, Portia. She was part of the Arlington Weekly News just 10 years ago, and now, well, she's back. Welcome back, Michelle.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, everybody from Arlington Weekly News and your audience.
Absolutely, and we can't forget our mascot here for so many years, right?
I know. I think it was 1 year old. We were figuring it out.
It's so crazy.
That
right?
she was here. We all knew her at 1, so.
And you have a lot of media experience. You had your segment, Real Money, on ABC World News, which was always exciting to watch you on television, of course. And then obviously your 3 books, which we have 2 books. Number 1, Healthcare for Less, 101 Health Insurance Tips, and Healthcare Made Easy. I love this book because it really answers all of the Affordable Care Act. Now that the law really has taken a hit, are these issues important still?
Absolutely. I think more than ever, it's kind of the subtitle being the Affordable Care Act is a little bit misleading because a lot of the stuff I did talk about in that book, as well as 101 Health Insurance Tips and Healthcare for Less, is actually more relevant today than it was before. I think, like as we were talking before this segment, I was a little bit ahead of my time when insurance was covering everything, and now we're finding that insurance is covering less and less these days.
Right, and it's such a complicated issue. We really don't have a lot of information sometimes, and these books really give us that education that we really need, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, there's things that people really didn't know about, and unfortunately I had 3 incidences that really kind of put me in a different light, where I've learned early and the hard way how to negotiate and what it meant to look at a bill and where the mistakes were. And through my mistakes, I've taught other people how to basically get through and navigate through our system.
And this is certainly not a political show in any way, but is there a 4th book maybe on Trump care?
Possibly. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, but there is, I've been talking about it, and unfortunately my most recent incident where I did test the healthcare system again, I was actually hit by a car and almost killed. I was unconscious, and she wants some attention now too, so make sure to keep her in the interview.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, for me, it was another learning experience, and I've learned about the other side of healthcare, which is dealing with attorneys and personal injury cases and the background that happens. And luckily, because of my background, I was able to navigate through the system, being unconscious, suffering a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, getting through it. But, you know, it helped out. And this little one actually helped me out, too. It was great to have her around. But it's, there is another book that might be coming out.
and like you were mentioning, you certainly had these life-changing events, right?
Right.
Now, one of the things that we wanted to talk about is itemized bill, right? We want to talk about this. Maybe if you can talk to us about, like, you know, a simple tip that you might have or what have you. What is it, first of all?
Well, first of all, you know, every time I go to somebody, they always say, what is an itemized bill? And they usually show me what I see as it's an EOB, which is an explanation of benefits. And the EOB is, if you're looking up on the screen right now, it's basically what you see here. It's very complicated, but I've highlighted, you know, 1 is the paid amount, 2 is the total bill, 3 is the patient savings, what the deductible is. But this doesn't tell you anything of what actually happened and what you're being billed for. The second bill that you'll see on the screen is actually an itemized bill. Now, this, you'll notice, is just exactly what I said. It's everything that you were being charged for, every line. I tell people, look at the date. I've seen mistakes in the date. I've seen, you're not expected to know what the service code is or the ICD-10 code is or anything like that, but just look at the service itself and then the charge.
Right.
And if something looks weird or funny, call up the director of billing. The director of billing, leave them a message, send them an email, try to get their email address, and always document. Just remember that if you don't document, it never happened. And this is a great start to analyzing your bill.
And you sort of mentioned it, but what are some of the simple mistakes that people make?
One of them is not reading your insurance plan. But who's expected to? Nobody reads that huge benefits booklet. Half the time I call up the insurance company and ask questions, they don't even know what they cover.
Right.
And it's always, you probably have better odds in Vegas. So that's one of the biggest tips, if you can.
And you've been able to save a lot of people money in your segments and then also some talk shows. What was the biggest one or the most memorable?
I mean, all of them have been super memorable, but you know, they say it's always your first.
Right.
There was a family that I will always remember reached out to me. The mother had Crohn's disease and her insurance wasn't covering her infusions, and her infusions are every 6 weeks, and they were Remicade. So basically, she reached out to me, and I wound up working with her, finding that the manufacturer of her drug, the infusion, was actually they had a foundation where they had money that they set aside to get discounts on the drug. And basically I found her a place close that we can get those discounts, and we got her bill from $12,000 to about $411
Incredible,
a month.
yeah. You've done some great things for families and everyday people. Now, we only have 1 minute left, but we want to present you a challenge. We want you to find ways, maybe for everyday Arlingtonians, to find free discounted ways to save money when it comes to your health care. Are you up for that challenge?
I am definitely up for that challenge, as long as you're up to come with me on those.
Definitely. This is exciting.
So, and maybe if your viewers want to reach out to me and give me some ideas or tips and give me some direction, that would be great too.
How can they contact you?
Best way is Twitter, @MichelleKatzMSN, or they can go to my Facebook page at Nurse Michelle Katz.
And the important question, does Portia have an account?
You know what?
Maybe soon, right?
Maybe soon, but she is on Instagram. Nurse Katz is my Instagram account, but I always post pictures of her. So,
Michelle, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're definitely going to have you on more. This is exciting, this challenge that we have.
I'll do it.
Now we go back to the desk. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, good job. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll give
Good
you
job, Daniel.
Well, you know,
Good to have
kudos
Michelle
for
back.
that.
Michelle Katz, she's so enthusiastic when it comes to healthcare.
is.
And Craig,
Healthcare is her whole thing.
absolutely, and she's done it for ABC
One book
News.
done, another one on the way, I guess.
Yeah,
Right? So
that's
the second book.
maybe she'll do one on Trump care.
Oh, please.
But we're going to be covering more healthcare stories here for the Arlington Weekly News. So Michelle Katz is back.
It's an important bit of information that everybody should know about. Too true. Anything else to add before we toddle off out of here?
That should do it.
Well,
Craig.
that's it. I guess
We made it.
Keep it
Thanks
short.
for watching this edition of
Short but
Don
sweet.
Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. We're still in January 2019, and we thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. And next week, if you're out there, we'll be here, and we'll try it all again. Have a
Flying
safe week.
squirrel.
Stay safe and warm. Bye-bye.
Dun 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 dun.